What's up, family? Going live here and doing an AMA. Ask me anything. It's 2023 and there's a lot of chaos out there in terms of masculine feminine dynamics, dating and relationships. If you're watching this video not live, do me a favor, hit replay in the comments just so I know you're here. And if you love this video, tag someone you think would be interested in it or share it out. Sharing is caring. Hope y'all are having an amazing day. Just getting the other stream set up here. Hope everybody is having an amazing day and happy Samhain. Good old Gaelic or Celtic New Year. Halloween is a made-up holiday, just so y'all know. It's a corporate holiday to sell you candy and synthetic costumes. Not great. So I don't know how many of y'all are on Twitter, or X as it's called now, but that's where the good shit goes down. It's really sad that so much of social media is just so censored. It's just ridiculous. Like what the algorithm will show you. And obviously X, aka Twitter, is censored as well. But their algorithm is much more free. And the more free that we can speak about things in public forums, the better off we're going to be, you know? How many times in history did the people that were trying to get less speech out there, how many times were they the good guys? Just think about that. And to the people that say, but Kevin, there's hate speech and terrible shit being said, and we have to protect people from those terrible people speaking. And you have to ask yourself this, like, do the social media titans, conglomerates, apps, political influences that are backing them and subsidizing them, do they really want to protect you from scary internet memes that are going to politically radicalize you? Do you actually think that's the plan? Kind of seems crazy to me that that would be the actual reason behind it. It's much more about controlling the flow of information. 1984 was a playbook. It was a documentary. I don't know if y'all know this, but you definitely should read that book if you haven't. So this is an AMA. If you have a question and you want to share, ask me anything. Create 903, you're asking to be in the video. I don't know why. I don't know who you are. And honestly, you look like a bot account. So if you're a real person, Create 903, I'd love for you to share with me why you're asking to be in my video. Very curious as to who this person is, if it's a real person at all. If you're over on Facebook or Instagram, just say hello. Would love for you to just type in the chat something you're grateful for, or maybe where you are in the world. That would be very cool just to see who's here. So yeah, if you can hear my voice, you want to share something, ideally where you are in the world, one thing you're grateful for, that'd be amazing. So create 903, okay? You don't seem like a bot. How to get over a girl knowing that she connected with her ex-boyfriend. So this is a big one, and it's very simple. Not easy. Spiritual Alchemy, what's up? New Jersey, feeling sad, grateful for the sun out today. Thanks for being here. Monk William J out in DC, welcome. See a lot of people in here. Thanks for being here, y'all. PNW Forest Lover on the Sunshine Coast of BC with limited internet, welcome. Thanks for being here. So create 903. How to get over a girl. First off, how you get over a girl is address what was brought up. Address the trauma, address the hurt. Hopefully you have support. So if you're not part of a men's circle, you don't have a community that you can be vulnerable with, you don't have a mentor, a therapist, a coach, you need to get one. You need to reach out. The only way you're going to get over that girl is to address your part in creating that relationship dynamic. And her connecting with her ex-boyfriend, I mean, this is classic mate switching. That could have nothing to do with you, but if you're making the story about you and you feel like a victim, as in, you know, she cheated on you or something, which is, you know, if that's true, I'm very sorry to hear that. The only way you're going to get over her and address that is to very much do the work, which means get with men. If you're asking this question on this live, you know, have you journaled about this? Have you cried? Have you felt your feelings? Have you raged out? Have you felt the anger and indignation? Have you shared this story in depth with someone that loves you and you can be vulnerable with? That's where I would start. And Kara in the house, grateful for my health, my ability to keep my heart open even after being hurt many times. Beautiful, brother. This is the thing about the heart, y'all. The more it cracks and the more pain, obviously you probably don't want to seek pain, but that's how the heart opens. The cracks let the light in. And obviously it's painful and it can suck, but it also feels amazing when you actually let love in and you let more love in, even after being hurt, even after, you know, suffering in love, right? Kalo Jan in Stockholm, welcome. Feeling frustrated and stuck. Okay, thanks for sharing. Art Love Travel in France. Grateful for the possibility to walk along the sea. Beautiful. Spirit of Alchemy. Want to ask how I can attract a good, emotionally mature man. Well, the first way to do that is to be a good, emotionally mature woman. That's going to be the best place to start. I was just dating a very good guy for 2 years. We lived together and he blindsided, broke up with me. How to get over this. I was just speaking about how to get over these things. So I'm going to say a very brutal truth to you, and that's that he didn't blindside you. Nothing comes unannounced. Everything that made that man want to leave that relationship was completely present and available for you to notice and feel well before he broke up. Now, if you failed to feel that and it wasn't apparent to you, then yeah, that's where your work is. Like, what's going on? Like, get curious. Like, what happened in that relationship? Why was there harm or hurt, or why were you feeling that way? Only you know that. So if you want to attract a good, emotionally mature man, A, are you a good, emotionally mature woman? Honestly, like, be fucking brutal honest with yourself. And B, where are the women in your life? Are the women in your life good, emotionally mature women, either in relationship or married to emotionally mature men, or dating or surrounded by emotionally mature men? Okay, this is law of proximity. Who are you surrounded with? And the way you get over it is to feel your feelings. And maybe you need to work with a coach, therapist, or mentor. Maybe you need to work with older women who can love you up, you can be vulnerable with, you can trust, you can share with. You need to be around women. And you need to be doing your practice, journaling, emotional processing, somatic work, being in nature, dancing, singing, praying. That's what you need to be doing to get over them. And men and women do get over breakups differently, for sure. We can get more into that. But if you guys are watching, I see we got 8 on Insta, 5 on Facebook. You're welcome to just hang out, but it'd be a lot more fun if you just shared where you are in the world. Where are you? I'm out here in Austin, Texas. Grateful to be here with y'all. We got people from all over the world here, which is amazing. And Kara, what's your view on polyamorous relationships? I used to think they were cool, like a lot of people. I was like, yeah, like open relating and polyamory. Um, years and years and years ago, I was never fully polyamorous, but like many people dating multiple people, I experimented with just telling the truth and forming like that kind of dynamic. And in my experience, that will never work for most people. I see the queen in here. What's up, bae? Um, Polyamory doesn't work for most people. I've never seen it. That's just for me personally. And this is my judgment and my discernment. So obviously, everyone's going to have their own response to this and their own assumptions and like their idea of what a power relationship looks like, a healthy, super intimate dynamic. I've never seen it once. I've met couples that were polyamorous for years and years and years and years. And my judgment or perception of that was a lot of processing, a lot of aftercare, a lot of maintenance. But it seemed to be working for them. Now, put them next to a super powerful couple that was monogamous and in like a divine union dynamic where like even in their presence you can feel like holy shit, these people love each other on a deep primordial level. Like comparing those relationships, there's no comparison. It's night and day. But everyone is different. So some people really want to thrive with multiple partners in polyamory, polygamy, polyandry, whatever. I think it's a hot topic of exploration, and after thousands of years of sexual repression from religion and the church and politically being repressed and all that, of course people want to break out and experiment and go that direction. And I think that's a healthy swing. In terms of forming stable pair bonds and raising children, polyamory doesn't work unless the whole village does it, and it's a tight Dunbar's number village. Some indigenous communities did versions of this in the ancient past, but more and more as things like paternity certainty, like whose kids are whose. Specifically, men are wired to want to know that, women as well, but women always know because they're birthing the child. You see it less and less in indigenous communities. There's a lot of research on this. And I know there's books and there's thinkers that say that it's our natural way and that's how we used to be. And obviously that may be true. I don't know. I wasn't there 10,000 years ago. But in the modern day, I don't see it working for most people. Many are called, few are chosen in that kind of dynamic, is what I think. Create 10903, thanks for the advice. Thanks for asking. I hope you take the steps you need to heal your heart, brother, and actually go through that breakup process, that reconciliation process in a good way. That's going to support you and set you up for better and better relationships. That's what I really hope that you actually go into. Awesome, y'all. Well, if you got any questions or comments or anything you want to ask or share, please do share in the comments here. So PNW Forest Lover, my boyfriend has a lot of anxious attachment. Okay. Is it secure or insecure attachment though? And are you more of the avoidant in that dynamic? I used to be, but I've done healing. I find it very hard. Any suggestions? What do you find hard about it? So this is the thing. If he is anxiously attached to you, what are the feelings you feel when he's wanting more connection or coming at you in an anxious way? That's really the brutal question here, is like, what's hard about it? Because I can't really answer that question without knowing more. Anxious attachment style needs a lot of communication. They need a lot of love and high touch communication, which means you need to ask him how he prefers to be loved. What are his love languages? How does he need to relate to you? Do you have agreements and communication strategies set up? so both of you can get your needs met. Okay, that's the first step, is you really need to set that up with each other, and that probably means having a really radically honest conversation. If you're finding it very hard, he feels that, so you need to make it open and honest, and you need to have a check-in. Anxious attachment styles are going to need you to inform them and maybe even over communicate to what you might feel good with as a secure, avoidant, or whatever your attachment style might be, so they can feel confident that their needs will be met, basically. Anastasia UASI, welcome. Spirit Alchemy, thank you. Inegura, thank you. Have a nice evening. Great, thanks for being here. So yeah, if you've got any other questions, type them in. Anastasia on Facebook. Tuning in, sitting out here by the riverbed, Saddleback Mountain behind me. Just got back into sunny SoCal. Grateful to be back in my homeland. Grateful for fucking everything right now. Epic time to be alive. Let's go. Saddleback Mountain, what a beautiful, beautiful place. Love me some Southern California. Do miss the nature in California from time to time. Thanks for sharing. Marie, if you think you lost your mind in a toxic relationship because twin flame energy, karma, two, if you stay too long, I lost everything and good healing. Not really sure what you're trying to say there, but I'm assuming that, yeah, if you're in a toxic twin flame energy and you felt mentally unstable, or you felt like you were losing it, you know, it might be time to dig down into what set you up, or how did you allow that type of relationship into your life? How did you co-create that and take radical responsibility for the 50% you might have created? Well, you definitely created, because you were in the relationship. No one was forcing you to be in it. So if you're really feeling like, man, I was in a lot of toxic energy, I feel like I lost my mind, I would highly recommend, before jumping into any other type of dynamic with a man, that you get to the root and like do some work. Again, women's circle, therapy, coaching, somatic experiencing, feeling your emotions, doing your practices, to actually understand what made you a match for that, so you don't repeat it. Because if you don't learn from that type of dynamic, you might recreate it. That's kind of the natural law, right? It's like, until we learn the dynamic or lesson of a certain type of lover or experience, usually we'll repeat it until we get it. And there's nothing wrong with that, Sometimes you need multiple goes at it, That's totally understandable. I've done it, But eventually you probably want to move away from that. You probably want to take a step back and get curious why that was happening. And Kara, I feel you are in the right. I feel you're right in many ways, and I think that monogamous is the highest path to love. I mean, it's not about higher or lower. It's just about what works for you and what fills you with the most love and excitement and like joy around relating. What's the best way to go about starting a men's group? This is the same for a men's or women's group, and I see this with clients all the time, because they can't find one, or like they think it has to be some formal group they see on Instagram that charges money, which those are powerful. Like Sacred Sons, I would highly recommend to men. Mankind Project, I would highly recommend to men. It is kind of crazy how there's not as many women's brands that are doing this work. And I think that's because women naturally form women's circles, even if they're not formal, because that's in their nature, is to bond and connect in the tribal circuit and the inner worlds of each other. That's just women's nature. It's much easier. Whereas men, if we're not hunting, making war, playing sports, it can be harder, especially because all the bullshit that society's told us. So yeah, men or women's circle, it's the same. You only need 3 men. So you and 2 other men is a men's circle. You and 1 man is a bro date or brotherhood, but 3 men is a men's circle. So you need to find the 2 men that you trust the most. And if they're not starting it, that means you need to start it if you're desiring it. And you need to set a date and time and formally invite them, and then keep that consistent, whether it's once a month, once a week, whatever. Just do that until the end of the year. Do that for the next 3 to 6 months, and you will have it. And literally in the group, in the men's circle or women's circle, you show up. Maybe you greet each other, you have a practice, you pray, you breathe, you meditate, you drop in, whatever. You work out, and then you just share. So everyone checks in. What's alive for you right now? What's going on? You can use timers for that. That'll complete, and then the conversation will organically move towards where it needs to move. Someone needs support, someone needs questions, someone's experiencing a lot, it's heavy, someone's celebrating. And then you check out and you close it, and that's it. It's so simple, and it'll naturally evolve and form a more beautiful way in your life, because that group, as it meets more and more and builds trust and builds momentum, it'll start to enrich your life in every way. Here in Austin, I've been part of a men's circle now for over 6 months, where we've met every single week, and it's enriched my life tenfold, hundredfold. And I've been part of that in different seasons of my life, but being in one place and having that type of group, there's nothing better than that. There's nothing more powerful than that. All men need that. Whether it's your soccer team or football team, or it's your sales team, whether it's your brothers that you hike with, it can take many forms. It doesn't have to be like formal men's work, men's circle stuff. A lot of men get this automatically. A lot of women will get this automatically in their life, but you do need it. And obviously you can go much deeper than people you just work with or play sports with. PNW Force Lover, I've been over communicating, and that was helpful, but then sometimes it isn't enough. So you need to ask him, honestly, what does he need? What would enough look like for him? Because his anxious behavior may be just showing up because he's feeling, some kind of way. And then you need to really ask yourself deep down, is that relationship compatible for you? And is it a fuck yes for you? Sorry, my connectivity is not very good. I'll try another time. I can at least try and ask again what will meet his needs. Thank you. Yeah, that's a great place to start. We'll definitely start there. Marie, yeah, but now I'm in return after 5 years in parents' home and in a not good healing place. Undependent now, I lose my job and peace. And it's a karma family return. Yeah, Marie, so I'll just really recommend and invite you to ask for support, reach out. If you're in a tough place, you lost your job, this relationship really spun you out, it's time to really call upon your family, your loved ones, who's closest to you, and ask for support. It's not weak to ask for support. It's not wrong to call upon the village, on the tribe, on your loved ones, your friends and family. Really urge you to seek support. And there's so many resources. I mean, you're here on this live and you have an internet device. There's so many free resources out there. And obviously you probably need people in person, so I'd really recommend that. Really send you some encouragement to take those necessary steps on what you need to do. All right, y'all. What else you got? Do you have any other questions? See, there's about 12 people here. So if y'all have any questions or comments, send them in the chat. Let me know what you think about anything that's been shared. There's a lot up for people right now with, Samhain, which is the Gaelic New Year, aka Halloween. And this double eclipse we just went through, a solar eclipse and a lunar eclipse, new and full moon. And it rocked a lot of people, including myself, including everyone I'm working with, all my clients right now, I'm coaching, all the loved ones I have. It's an intense time on the planet, y'all, with everything that's happening in the Middle East and Ukraine and politics in America. I mean, it's full on planet Earth, y'all. That's why I titled this live An Era of Chaos. An era of dating chaos as well. You know, there's a lot of people that are confused and down and out from their dating experiences. And it breaks my heart. You know, it's why I do what I do. And the good news is that your natural state is to love. Your natural state is to be in connection with others and love them and support them and be in a beauty way with them to get your needs met, whether you want to start a family or not, whether you want to be married or not, doesn't matter. You're built to love, which means you have to own that. Very few of us are called to be, you know, alone in the wilderness as a monk or a nun or isolate from others, you know. That in past ages, that was a way to attain connection, deep connection with God and nature. It still is. But because we're so interconnected now through these devices, it's really not the way. We have more connectivity now than we've ever had as humans, technologically. And then more people feel lonely than ever, which is very, very interesting, that paradox. So I would wish for you all to connect with loved ones, share what you're feeling, reach out, love one another. And in dating and relationships, please, please, ladies, drop your entitlement, drop your disagreeableness and your walls that are repelling the men you most want to attract. I see this pattern so much. And men, stop worrying about and chasing women and what they think. Start building yourself up. Build your brotherhood, go after your purpose and mission, train your body and your mind, offer your works, your art to God. And then notice the women in your field that you're most attracted to that also are honoring that. And then you'll have a great starting point to start an amazing relationship. That's where you start. Marie, I don't trust because addiction. Yeah. This is where you gotta reach out. You gotta build trust. Even with one person that you trust, your family, maybe your parents. Start there. Just start somewhere. You have to start. You have to reach out. You're on this live reaching out, so that means you're taking your first step. Kalion, is it possible for traumas and attachment styles to show up in men's circle? 100%. 100%. And how to navigate with conflicts that can occur in that aspect. So the good news about things that show up in a men's circle with trauma and attachment is that men with men loving each other, challenging each other, iron sharpening iron, you can get really real about what that is. So obviously if it's trauma and attachment from your woman or your love life coming up in a men's circle, yeah, other men can really give you brutal feedback and show you blind spots. If it's between men, you know, you need to have a clearing technology or a way to address that between men, which can be very powerful and confronting, but it can bond you deeper. So that's really the beauty of doing that kind of work in a men's circle, is it's going to actually strengthen the bonds and the trust between men. I've seen it so many times. I've facilitated it. I've been the one in the hot seat. There's really nothing like it. Awesome, family. Sending y'all a lot of love. I am still working with one-on-one clients until the end of the year. I have a program designed for men, only men, a program designed for women, and then one for couples. And I would love to speak with you. I've been having some amazing consultations and calls with people, setting up our work together, polarity, intimacy, using dating apps, going out, building men and women's circles, and just how to communicate in a polarized way and actually drop a lot of the dating bad habits and the things that might be blocking you from intimacy. So the link is posted here on Facebook. Please like this video, share it, tag someone if you're watching it even later. If you are on Instagram, this will be reposted on my Facebook page, which you can find in my bio here. So grateful for y'all. I hope y'all have an amazing rest of your week. Welcome to November. And just remember, spoiler alert, no matter how weird it gets on planet Earth, spoiler alert, love wins. So you can relax.